Alright, we're back, still in my lucky purple mana t-shirt, still playing f4. Exclam. So there are two key ways to play f4. One is with e3, one is with g3. I generally only go for e3 if it looks like my opponent is going to play a knight c6 setup. They have done, so perhaps I should have. And we're transposing into a kind of closed Sicilian where I've committed to an early f4, which is a reasonable line for both colors. I don't feel this is a wonderful position, but I also feel it's a very playable one. That's a little peculiar. I think I'm going to try knight d5. When they take, I just want to start opening the e-file. Their king just looks like it's been in the center too long to me, and that gives me ideas. I don't know what they're doing. It looks surely very intelligent, but it's not a scheme I'm familiar with. Alright, now this seems like a problem for them. I could take on c6, but I'm just going to take on h4. When their knight moves, I take an e5. Ah, they can come to d4. Ooh. I guess queen d1 threatens c3. Now queen h5 is coming, though, now that they defended the e5 pawn this way. So their king is going to be inconvenienced. Rook f5 threatened. And we've won a small amount of material. Let's keep the queens on. I still think their king is in more danger than mine. Solidify my good central pawn, but open up some lines around their king, hopefully. We don't have another rook to bring, so I don't really want to fight over the a-file. I think they're going to win that fight. But maybe start lining up against the c5 pawn, which is a potential weakness in their camp. Maybe d6, hit a8. Just think about opening some lines. Not sure it did anything. They probably have e4 here. I guess I have bishop f4. Let's sidestep. Maybe queen d2, come to c3, hit the b3 pawn. The king still seems vulnerable to me. I don't see how they defend b3. Probably almost pre-move taking. Queen b5, hit the c5 pawn. We're going a little faster than they are. b4 seems good. And then rook g2, just make sure I don't get their rooks doubled against me some scary way. And that was the wrong thing to take, but I'm going to come to e6 and play bishop d6 or play check. And their king doesn't have squares. Alright, 1 for 1, and a glorious win for 1f4. Is there anything to talk about in the opening? I did the kind of standard Polar Bear reverse Leningrad setup. If they give you e4, you play for it. If they don't, if they've played d5 at some point, then the Polar Bear idea is this kind of weird c3, a4, knight a3 idea, where I slowly play for e4, but first kind of control some central squares, give the knight the best square it has. If it goes to d2, that can get in the way of the bishop, and also can leave potential knight g4 to e3 lines annoying. Gotta be a little careful. Alright. 1 for 1. Okay, f4. Best by test. It's not what Fischer said about f4. Alright. I played this player a bit earlier, and they apparently do not want more games. Let's see what we got. Sadly, as black, f5 not so good. You can play it against d4, c4, and knight f3, but I suppose not against e4. We're going to get no games today. This would be rather a shame. Alright, well, we're still on 1 for 1. Okay, I want to play this time. Let's play for the Rubinstein French again. Alright, we're in an exchange French. I don't have a good sense of ways for black to play interestingly against the exchange French. So I'm just going to delay taking on c4 until they've moved their f1 bishop, so they have to spend extra tempo. This seems bad. Now they have to defend c3 and e3. Maybe b6, threaten bishop a6, hit at the queen. And I feel they're going to have trouble defending this constellation, because now if they take on e2 with anything but the king, they explicitly lose material. Everything still looks pinned to me, so I'm just going to keep trying to add pressure to their center. Keep applying pressure. Oh, I blundered knight t5. Ooh, terrible blunder. I got very lucky there. Keep centralizing the pieces. Maybe play knight a5, look at c4 at some point. Okay, let's avoid forks on e5. Can I take that with the bishop? Things look pinned, but I might get back ranked at the end. Ah, I have blundered again. No, I haven't. Okay, we're good. We're good. Ooh, not calculating cleanly. We might have back rank problems. All right. Let's play check and knight here. And defend the back rank. All right, they were not interested, but now I have a check. Let's take, play knight f6, look to play rook e8 sometime soon. Ooh, they have a rook d1. Blundering everything. Okay. We're just going to lose on the clock and the board. Alright. Well, this was a very poor technique. Maybe they'll blunder rook d4, knight g3. Hopefully they don't keep knights on. Yeah, they kept knights on. That was smart. Now I will certainly not have enough time to win. Ooh, I don't really have a way to defend the pawn either. Alright. 1 for 2. Very bad tactical vision, that one. But we can come back to the mighty bird. So they've played an early knight c6. So actually, I mean, if they're just going to play very peculiar moves, I will just play for the center. f4 is a little offbeat here. It's sort of like a Scandinavian, but f4 is a bit loosening without a pawn to put next to it. Threatening d5. Their queen is not well placed. Still should probably look for d5, because then my knight can come to e5, maybe g5, hit their queen. They might play bishop e6 here, but then knight g5, trying to exploit the d-file pin. Yeah. Maybe just bishop c4, solidify it. I want to keep knight g5 in reserve in case knight e5 is possible later. So I'm just defending the pawn again. I think I'm going to play queen e2 next. Then their knight's driven away. Then I might take on a7. I might play knight e5. Knight e5 still looks very nice. Maybe just bishop d3. Their knight is no squares, so b4 is now a big threat. I feel there's too many different lines of attack for them to defend. Because they tried to defend a7, but a7 was falling, knight e5 was coming, this knight was trapped. They don't have mate on g2. Yeah, this is... Do I have anything fancy to do? Let's just hit their bishop, see where it goes. My knight's so good on e5, I'm not going to rush to trade it. But I will trade this knight that is significantly worse placed. Chase them, maybe then fight for the d-file. Okay. This tactically doesn't work because of bishop a7. Now I threaten mate on d8. Yeah. So okay. I'm pleased with that game. That one seemed nice. They did something admittedly quite ridiculous, and then I just got to play forcefully from then on. And it would have been fun to end the game with queen takes e5, bishop takes a7, but you don't get everything. 2 for 3. As always, at bribechess.com to give me all whites. We're going to accept the Fromm's Gambit. I like trying to hold these positions. I feel... Alright, g3 is the main move. d4 is also playable. Knight h4. I should probably talk a bit about white's ideas in these lines. I think I have to take and then bishop g2. Because white has a lot of threats that I've attempted to avoid, I think successfully this game. But if you're not familiar with what those threats are, my attempts to avoid them might seem a bit random in the moves I'm making. Not that it's anything like super deep, but yeah, so they didn't have bishop, rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes, queen takes because of queen d8, I think. I guess they could just block with the bishop there, so they probably did. Ooh, now they have bishop e5 anyway, because bishop takes is a discovered check on my queen. Ooh. Let's take this and defend. Alright. I'm way behind on the clock, so this position's tough, but I think I mean, I think it's a good endgame for me. They can come win h2, play rook f6. I'm going to bring the king over to this mass of pawns. h6. Let's throw in a check, see where they go. I feel I got to keep these pawns together. Did hang this one with check. Ooh. Let's take on a5. Yeah, I've lost this. They just play f2 and g3, g2. Alright. Is that 5 games? 4 games. Right, let's do a rematch, however many it was. I think we're 2 for 4. Let's try to play Rubinstein French. Haven't gotten one, but have announced I'm going for it every time, and we get another exchange. It's never going to come. Okay. Maybe play for c5. Some activity against their center pawn. Hit b2 now that the bishop's out. Maybe play rook e8 next. Block the file a bit. Okay. Threatening like bishop h3 type moves. Totally missed this sequence. It's, you know, people like John Bartholomew that talk competently while playing Bullet and don't fall apart tactically are just incredibly impressive, and we should all be in awe of them. Because I can say from attempting to play it, it's very hard. But he's a remarkably good player. I think I'm just going to take that. Maybe play knight d3. Probably could have taken on c5. I'll play knight f4 now. If they take on c5, I take on e2 with check. Does the rook not? The rook can come to e3. I was thinking maybe I can inconvenience them. I have to go faster, as always. I feel like they're just blundering now. You know, some games you just feel like you're very slow. Not actually having that big a problem on the clock here. I just feel so slow, and I hung f5. I assumed they'd play rook e4 again. Yeah. No way to defend this with the clock situation. Yeah, and probably no way to defend it on the board either. Yeah. Okay. 2 for 5. Despite my lucky shirt. Very sad.